If you offered any Premier League club a time machine to reverse some of their transfers, I'm sure that the majority would take it. In this video, I will only talk about players signed on a permanent deal, so I won't include any loan signings. Only 3 years after selling Harry Maguire to Manchester United for somewhere around £82 million, Leicester managed to scam another top club with one of their defenders. Wesley Fofana was seen as a very promising centre-back after moving to England in 2020 from Saint Etienne. I mean, he is a solid defender, but he has one very big problem: injuries. After playing 28 league games in his debut season, in the next 2 seasons he managed to play only 9 thanks to multiple injuries. Even though playing 9 games in 2 seasons is a red flag for many clubs, it wasn't for Chelsea, as they decided to spend £75 million for him. He signed for Chelsea in the 22-23 season, and even though this was only 1.5 years ago, he picked up 3 big injuries that kept him away from the field for 350 days and 51 games. And as you might know, he's still injured, so those numbers will get bigger. Chelsea is renowned for their bad transfers, and one of their highlights is Kepa. Being a young and very good goalkeeper at Athletic Bilbao, we can all understand why Chelsea wanted him so bad. The London club bought him for £71.8 million in 2018, probably because they thought he is the next Casillas. Well, he isn't. In his first 2 seasons, he committed some awful mistakes, and Chelsea were forced to buy someone better and bench Kepa. For a £70 million player, that must be really painful. He was so bad that this year they loaned him out, well, to Real Madrid, but it doesn't matter. This transfer surely goes down as top 3 worst signings of the club. At least he gave us that iconic moment when he refused to be subbed off in a cup game. Chelsea and Manchester United make some of the worst deals ever, and the Manchester club showed us all this when they bought Anthony for £85 million. He was a very, very good player at Ajax and one of the best dribblers in Europe, but £85 million for a player from Eredivisie is too much. I mean, I know Ten Hag has always had a good relationship with him, but come on, you can't pay that fee just because you get along well with someone. I don't pay £85 million to hang out with my friends. Could you imagine how crazy that would be? However, even though he scored 3 goals in his first 3 games, in the following 39 he scored none and got only 2 assists, but somehow he still played 11 games as a starter this season. Man, I will never understand what's going on at Manchester United. Because we're in Manchester already, let's talk a little bit about City. In the last 15 years, they've been one of the best teams in Europe, but they too had some bad investments. One of them is Calvin Phillips. Until 2022, he played only for Leeds and was seen as a club icon. He improved quicker and better than his teammates, and that's why he wanted to move to a more competitive team. That's the moment when the citizens decided to spend £42 million for his signature. At first, his transfer to City looked like a very good idea because this way he could make his UCL debut. However, playing 16 games in 2 years because the manager says you're not good enough, it's bad. After being benched for so long, he finally moved to a team where he can get more playtime. I'm talking about West Ham, so I hope he can find his best form back. Gianluca Scamacca is a player that moved to West Ham to prove himself in the most competitive league in the world, but didn't really manage to do that. After scoring 16 goals in 36 matches for Sassuolo, there were a lot of teams that fought for him, but ultimately he chose the club from London. Everybody wanted to see what impact he'll have at his new club, and he disappointed massively. He was the one bought to replace Michael Antonio, but the Italian ended the season by being replaced by him as he was underperforming. In his only season in Premier League, he scored 3 goals in 16 games, and he came back to his native country at Atalanta. Richarlison is another player for whom so much was expected, but who disappointed. At Everton, he was absolutely brilliant, scoring on a regular basis. I remember that he was so good that he was always in my starting team on FIFA Ultimate Team, but that changed when he moved to Spurs, and not because I stopped playing the game. Probably their scouter played FIFA too and told Levy about him. They paid £60 million for him in the summer of 2022. In his first season, he scored so much, but from offside. He was like a Brazilian Morata. He was always in the wrong place at the best time. In 2 seasons, he scored 8 goals and got 6 assists, so that means Tottenham paid £4.3 million per contribution. I just realized I was a bit rude this whole video, so I'm sorry about that. Moving on, we have a less-known player, Jorginho Rutter. Ever since he was 18, he played for Hoffenheim and was pretty good, actually. After Bamford got injured in the 2022-23 season, Leeds found him as the best replacement for their goalscorer and paid £36 million for the Frenchman. It looks like it was a bad decision, as in that season they relegated to Championship after Rutter failed to score a league goal. Paying £36 million for a player that fails to score a goal, that's a bad investment. As I started the video talking about a Chelsea player, I'll end it the same way. Mihailo Mudryk shocked the whole world at Shakhtar Donetsk, being the most promising player from Ukraine. His dribbling and shooting were amazing, and his passing too. I remember a UCL game against Leipzig where he was the Ukrainian Messi. He helped Shakhtar get an historical 4-1 win by scoring once and assisting twice. Probably that's the moment when Chelsea committed to signing him. As in the case of Anthony, the transfer fee is the problem, not the player himself. £88.5 million for someone who plays in the Ukrainian league? I mean, no disrespect, Dynamo Kiev and Shakhtar are always present in UCL, and Shakhtar even managed to beat Barcelona this season. But you have to agree with me when I say that this fee is absurd. Probably the pressure of the fee was too much for Mudryk, as in 33 games he only managed to score 3 goals. There are at least 15 more players that I could have included in this video, but it would have been far too long. So if you want to see another video like this, be sure to show some support and hit the like button. Also, if you want to keep the conversation going, leave a comment down below and I will answer.